And this next fight, this is an interesting matchup here. Jamall Emmers, he's coming back. He's taking on Khusein Askhabov, who's been in the UFC pool for a long time. He got signed, I believe, almost 3 years ago, but hasn't fought 2 years and 11 months. So it's been a long time since we've seen Askhabov compete. He had some visa issues and things like that, but he's been perfect in the in the cage. He hasn't fought in the octagon yet, but he's 27 years old now. He's 23-0, and he's competed exclusively in Russia. The majority of his fights have taken place in the WWFC promotion, which isn't the greatest Russian promotion. And if you look at Ashkabov's record, it reflects that. He definitely has beaten a couple guys who are decent, but most of his wins have came against fighters with under 10 pro fights and a lot of squash matches. He was scheduled to fight a couple times, and like I said, those got squashed with visa issues. And I did see he was scheduled to fight at 35 pounds in the UFC, and he did have a few fights at 135 pounds before joining the UFC. And but he's doing this one at 145, which he's had a lot of 145 fights as well, but just the more recent fights that he's had were all at 135, so technically he is moving back up in weight. He did win the title in the WWFC promotion at 35 and 45. And at 27 years old, you'd probably expect him to be a little bit stronger, bigger than when he fought when he was 25. So maybe that's another reason why he's moving up in weight. And on the feet, he's evasive. He's mobile. He'll throw some good kicks. Distance control looks pretty good. And he can control range. I haven't really seen much from the hands with him. His last fight, he did land a flying knee knockout. But I don't really think he's that dangerous on the feet. He hasn't really faced many fighters who threw back at him or had good striking either, and I'm curious to see how he does against a pressure fighter that can negate his kicking game. And so it's going to be interesting. I don't really think this guy is that proven, but he has kind of a difficult style to beat by points on the feet if he could keep you on the outside with his kicks and then get the takedowns when you come in, because his wrestling is good, times the takedowns well, pretty good clinch takedowns, looks strong. And on top, he is kind of contented to stick in full guard, laying ground and pound. He does have a few submission wins, front chokes, but I don't really see him as a huge submission threat against higher level fighters. And I have seen him make mistakes, get put on his back, get his back taken. And I think that Jamall Emmers, who's also a high level wrestler, could easily give him fits and out grapple him in this one potentially. But what I've seen from Askhabov is a great ability to win decisions. He runs, he kicks. When fighters overcommit or get frustrated, he takes them down. Cardio is on point, but hasn't fought a great level of competition. I don't see a big danger factor from him. And I've seen him make mistakes in the grappling. I don't necessarily know how good his wrestling truly is or striking. Training at Tiger Muay Thai does give you some sort of maybe potential thought that his striking could be a little bit better, but I don't really know. I mean, I don't think he's been tested. With Jamall Emmers, we got a fighter with a lot of natural gifts, a ton of skill, but his UFC career just has not gone as planned so far. He's only 1-2, and he's battled a lot of injuries. His last fight, he had that knee injury against Pat Sabatini with the heel hook that took him out for almost a year. And now he's 33 years old, so it's put up or shut up time for him. I mean, the guy, a lot of people treat him like a bum, but I don't agree with that. I mean, he's a former LFA champ. He is someone that dropped Pat Sabatini and then got caught. He went to a split decision with Giga Chikadze that at the time, a lot of people thought he should have won. So I feel like Jamall Emmers is being underrated, undervalued in this spot. He used to be the prospect. Now he's facing the young guy with the Ov at the end of his name and an undefeated record. That's always something that the odds makers like. But Emmers, he's an athletic wrestler, and on the feet, he's pretty fast. He likes to pressure, feint, then uses length to counterpunch or blitz in with the long punches and kicks. He's pretty high volume, and he keeps the range well. I believe he's going to be the significantly bigger fighter in this and have the much longer reach also, which is going to be a big factor in the fight. And defensively, Emmers is good, but his chin is questionable. If it becomes a war of attrition, I do favor Askhabov, but if it stays technical, I think Emmers could win the fight. And Emmers is a really good wrestler as well. He's very hard to hold down, very hard to take down, and his offensive wrestling is very good too. He has nasty clinch knees. I think he has very good timing on the double. His top control is pretty good, and he could submit guys when they get tired. The grappling is where Emmers has gotten in trouble at times, though. He did get his knee racked against Sabatini. He's gotten submitted in one other fight as well. And mainly fight IQ is what's held Emmers back. He probably, you know, he just has lapses in judgment. He'll get submitted. He'll get caught in a knockout. And he has the chance to get upset in this fight. And I think that it's more of a 50-50 fight. Emmers is going to be able to make the stand-up fight probably close. And I think that he's going to have the edge there with the length. And I think he'll also have the wrestling advantage. I think the clinch is going to be somewhere where Emmers can take advantage too. Askhabov is low volume, not the most impressive striker. And unless he can just out-wrestle Emmers with ease and take him down and hold him down, which I think it's going to be tough against a high-level wrestler who's bigger than him, then I think he's going to have a rough night. I think Askhabov's record is a little bit fugazi, and I'm going to say that Jamall Emmers gets this job done by decision, kind of exposes Askhabov a little bit, maybe even submits him with the rear naked choke. I think the sub prop for Emmers is live this week, but I'm going to go with Emmers to win this fight via decision.